Well, it's Thanksgiving morning and I just prepared half of this package of stuffing mix. So it was 12 ounces total, and that makes 8 cups if you're wondering. So 4 of those cups I made into the stuffing mix, and the other 4 I want to store for next time. So here we go. Let's put these in here. It seemed like a little bit too much for a quart jar. It might be too little for this, but no, I think it was a good call. There we go. Let's check it out. I'm going to put the directions inside so that I have them for next time. Just like that. And on the pantry shelf where it'll stay nice and fresh. I have some of this whole wheat flour taking up a lot of space here. I've done quite a bit of prep for Christmas baking, so I'm just going to put it in the smaller quart jar. I haven't bought any whole wheat flour this year. I had 10 pounds from last year that I stored in the freezer, and this is the last of it. I will probably buy more whole wheat flour if I see it at Grocery Outlet, because they seem to have the best price. Usually they have King Arthur. There we go. I store all my flour in the freezer, and I certainly let my rice sit there for a couple days after I buy it. There you go. It's just perfect. Well, I had my last cup of tea this morning, so it's time to refill that. I actually have a lot to refill this morning. My whole counter is full. That's okay. Get this going. I have another bag after this one, so I don't have to purchase tea for a while. I really count on my morning cup of tea to get through the day, so I always make sure I have plenty. I'm good for a while. While I'm filling up the tea, I'll refill the sugar. I had my sugar in a larger container, but I have a little caddy here for sugar and teas and coffees and stuff like that, and the larger container wouldn't fit, so I'm back to this tiny little container which slides right in there. It's definitely popcorn season. I've had this container for years, which I use for popcorn. I love it with the chickens. Unfortunately, I dropped it a few years ago and glued it, and the glue, I don't know, it's just a mess on top, but I do love it, and it keeps the popcorn nice and fresh. I got a new bag at Walmart, and I'm going to pour it in here and just have it out on the counter. A few months ago, I got a special popcorn popper for the microwave because I was doing this on the stove. It always entailed a lot of washing up, and I do like the ones, the ready-made popcorn ones in the bags, but they're full of salt and all sorts of stuff, and I just kind of like to keep things simple. Just perfect. So doing it myself is the best way to go. Now, this was an interesting thing I read actually on the news, that if you go to Costco, if you recall, usually these nuts are sold in plastic containers with screw-on lids, which were very handy to have those containers, but they have now changed over to plastic bags, which they say are 85% reduced plastic, and also they took several dollars off the cost of these due to the fact that the packaging is much simpler. The only thing I liked about the other ones was that you could reuse them, but these, I guess, I'll use for other things. They do have a, you want one of those zip type closures, so we'll figure it out. So I'm going to go ahead and I have one of these which is salted mixed nuts, and this one is salted mixed nuts. Whoops. And this one is unsalted mixed nuts. And I'm going to mix them because I do like the salted ones, but it's too much salt. So if I mix them and I grab a handful, I'm not going to be just overwhelmed by the salt. So I have this little container that's on my counter here. I had trail mix in it earlier. So I'm going to kind of put half and half and then shake it up. I'm fully dressed, but in a bathrobe on top of everything else. It has been so cold here. In the 30s in the morning, and just It's supposed to get rain pretty soon. I just wear my clothes and then put a bathrobe on top, a big one that goes down to the ground, and I am fine. All right. That's about half and half, and I'm going to close this and give it a shake or two and try to get the two, the salty and the unsalty kind of combined. There we go. Ready for the countertop. There's plenty left in both of these bags, so I've resealed them. I'm going to put them in the freezer because that's where I like to store my nuts. Keeps them from going rancid. I have this annoying situation with this body lotion I got from Whole Foods, and it's gotten to about here, and the part that the pump goes in and is made a hole, and anyway, it's a big long thing, and I can't get any body lotion out of it, and of course it's too small at the top to reach in, and you turn it over to, anyway. I think you all know what I mean. So I'm going to be turning this over into this container, which is wide enough for me to get my hand into, and then that's how I'm going to deal with getting the rest of the body lotion out of here. So I'm just going to set it like this and come back in a few hours, and we'll see how we're doing with it. And here it is. It took about 3 days for this to come out of the plastic container, but it's a significant amount of body lotion, so I'm glad I just set it up there and did it. This is a lot to leave behind. Well, it's cat food time again. They are running through the cat food this winter. The little one especially has grown quite a bit. I got 16 pounds this time at Walmart, and it'll probably fill 1.5, I think, of these. I love these containers. Open real nice. They got a big wide opening and they snap shut. I got these at Walmart a couple of years ago. Let's do it. Here's one. Here's the other. Whoops, I need to do some sweeping here. Somebody gave me this really delicious jam. It was like a homemade jam, but it was so watery that I put it in the crock pot for a while, and I brought it to a boil with the lid on. Then I took the lid off and let it evaporate, a little cook down and evaporate. So I think it's going to be okay now. I'm going to put it right back in the jar. It was good. The flavor was good. It just was, I don't know, wasn't cooked down again, I guess, enough. I think it's blackberry with some spices in it. I don't know. We're going to try it again. It certainly looks a lot better now than it did a few hours ago. All the extra fluid kind of evaporated out. So into the refrigerator this goes. All my cleaning supplies are down really low right now, as you can see. I'm really glad I got these big containers of Simple Green and of Mr. Clean and dishwashing liquid, because at the time I could. It was over the summer. I thought I'd do it to prepare for winter, but the way things are going up, I don't know how much I'd be spending now. I do like the big containers like this, because you just can refill and it comes out less expensive over time. So the first thing I'm going to do is Simple Green, and the Simple Green is, I believe, a concentrate. Yeah, concentrated. So I'm going to do maybe half and half. I really like the Simple Green, not for everything, but there are times when you want something that's food safe and a little less strong. I have one in the bathroom and one in the kitchen. Oh, here we go. There's a second one. I'm going to fill it about halfway and then put half water. Fill these up with water. When you fill these with water, they start to bubble up, so I'm going to have to go back and forth a couple times and fill them, let them foam, settle down, fill, foam, settle down. And here they are, ready to start cleaning. Mr. Clean is also getting low here, so I'm going to pour this in. Sometimes this tends to foam up also during the course of filling them, so hopefully we'll get this done in a timely manner. Mr. Clean is not concentrated, it's full strength, but I get the big jar anyway. Oops, spilling a little bit. Then it foams up. Oops, foamed up a little bit there. See that? That's a problem. Then fill up the second one. Oops. Probably should go a little slower, but I want to get this done. I really like this Mr. Clean. It's just a great all-purpose cleaner. I love that I can get it in the big containers. Still foaming up there. It'll settle soon. Got one for the kitchen, one for the bathroom. Let me tell you, with the amount that overflowed, I'm going to have the cleanest counters in the state. And finally, my homemade Dawn Power Wash, I guess. I put the soap in here up to a certain point and then fill the rest with water and spray it on my dishes instead of pouring everything on there. This is always kind of a difficulty. Comes out slow. I think I'm going to take the lid off. Just going to pour it like this. It'll take a little bit of time to go through the funnel. You don't want this to be too thick. I put about a 25% to 30% in there and then the rest water. If it's too thick, then it just won't go through the sprayer. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. After I put this in, I shake it up quite a bit. And there it is. I don't know if you can see, it's a little darker at the bottom than at the top. It needs to be really shaken quite a bit so that you don't get that big heavy soap at the bottom. I was just looking at this big container. It's almost done, and I'm thinking that the next time I do this, I might just add water to this. This sprayer, I think, reaches to the bottom. It would be nice to have just a big one like this. It doesn't need to be filled as often. I might do one more fill of the small one, then the next time just use this as my sprayer. I got this little container from Dollar Tree. It's a little tiny stein with a shaker lid, and I love to use it for my turbinado sugar, which is these sugar crystals. This format with the holes and everything makes it really nice to sprinkle this on cookies and on pies. Problem is now I've got to refill it. My funnel's all wet from the cleaning product, so I made a little funnel out of wax paper, and we'll see how that goes. Oops. Seems to be going good. That's probably enough. Because this tends to clump up and stuff gets in it, I guess it must, because I have it on the shelf with all my other spices and stuff. I put like a piece of plastic right there and just screw the top on like this. Therefore, moisture can't get in, nothing can get in, and I take this off, obviously, when I want to shake on cookies or pies. I've been doing some Christmas baking, of course, so I opened up a bag of walnuts, and I'm going to put them in this jar and put them in the refrigerator. Generally, I freeze my nuts, but I'm going to be going through these, I think, fairly quickly the next 2 weeks or so, so I'm just going to get them put away in the refrigerator for easy access. I was afraid this was going to happen. Let's see if I can shake it down a little bit. I'd love to get all of this into the container. Got a little extra room shaking it. Oh my gosh. Just got to keep doing it. I think I'm going to be able to fit it all in there. I better. I do have a larger dish. I just don't feel like, or a larger jar. I just don't feel like washing this out after I transfer it because I'm lazy. What do you know? Let's do another shake. And it fit, barely. That was 12 ounces of walnuts, shelled walnuts. So I took some out. No, I'm sorry, 16 ounces of shelled walnuts. So I took some of it out earlier. So if you are trying to put these in a jar, 16 ounces will barely fit. I mean, even with what I took out, I think I would have gotten it to fit in here. I make these oatmeal cookies, which are kind of my default granola bars at this point, obviously with oatmeal, some flour, regular oatmeal cookie recipe, plus I add like cranberries and nuts and coconut and all sorts of stuff to make them filling. So I thought that instead of using all flour, I don't remember, but I don't think the recipe uses a whole lot of flour, but I thought I would replace part of the flour with almond flour. Let me see if you can see that. And I got this at Walmart. It was $10 for 2 pounds, but if I'm only going to be using like a cup or a half a cup at a time, I think it'll last quite some time. So I just want to make these as nutritious as possible. So I'm going to put some of it in this jar and the rest I'm going to put in the freezer, because that's where I put all my flour as much as possible is in the freezer. I'm just going to put as much as I think I might use in the next couple of weeks, and then I'll refill it as I go. So I didn't even fill it that high, but it's going to be in the pantry, and it's really cold, so I'm not too worried about it going bad in the next couple of weeks or whatever, because I know I'll be using it. So that's it for the refills for now. I think I'm caught up, but I'm never really 100% caught up. I'm going to be doing a refill video on filling all the Christmas cookie bags and little baskets, so that'll probably be the next refill that'll come up. Anyway, hope you're keeping your pantry stocked and everything's going well and you're keeping warm and safe and just having a wonderful holiday season. Thank you so much for watching.